Donald Trump, the self-proclaimed healthiest president that's ever lived, is nowhere to be found, and the White House's flimsy excuses are only fanning the flames of a growing scandal. For weeks, the public has been bombarded with images of Trump's bruised hands, slathered in what looks like a toddler's attempt at concealing a black eye with orange paint. The White House insists these are just handshake bruises from his tireless grip and grins, but the explanation reeks of desperation. Add to that photos of Trump's swollen ankles at the FIFA Club World Cup in July 2025, and you've got a president who's less robust and more rapidly unraveling. The latest bombshell, a White House report confirming Trump's chronic venous insufficiency, has the internet ablaze with speculation about his declining health. This isn't just a medical footnote. It's a glaring spotlight on a presidency that's limping along, both literally and figuratively. Trump's team is in full damage control mode, but their efforts are as clumsy as the man himself stumbling through a policy briefing. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt's claim that Trump's condition is benign and common sounds like it was ripped from a WebMD page, not a serious medical assessment. Meanwhile, the White House physician, Sean Barbabella, churns out memos proclaiming Trump's excellent health with all the credibility of a used car salesman. These assurances are laughable when you consider Trump's history of dodging transparency. He's been cagey about his health since 2015, refusing to release detailed medical records despite promising to do so in August 2024. Compare that to Kamala Harris, who laid her medical history bare during the 2024 campaign, and Trump's secrecy looks like a neon sign screaming, "I've got something to hide." The timing couldn't be worse for Trump. Just as his administration pushes a narrative of strength and control, he's vanished from the public stage. No events, no press conferences, just a cryptic cancellation of a reported flight to his Bedminster golf club. This isn't the behavior of a commander-in-chief. It's the retreat of a man who can't face the cameras without risking further exposure. Is he slathering on more makeup to cover those bruises? Is he too weak to stand at a podium? Or is he just paralyzed by the realization that his presidency is imploding faster than his tariff schemes? Whatever the reason, Trump's absence is a deafening admission of fragility, and it's dragging his entire administration down with him. Speaking of tariffs, let's talk about the economic dumpster fire Trump's been stoking. He promised affordability would be the cornerstone of his second term, but his tariff obsession is proving to be a catastrophic misstep. Economists are sounding the alarm. August 2025 tariff revenue hit $32 billion, but it's not the exporting countries footing the bill. It's American consumers and businesses getting crushed under higher prices. Trump's latest stunt, doubling tariffs on Indian goods to 50%, is less about punishing India and more about punishing everyday Americans already struggling with medical debt and rising costs. The man who swore he'd make life cheaper is instead making it unaffordable, and his silence on this disaster speaks volumes. While Trump hides, his Republican allies are scattering like roaches when the lights come on. From Alabama to Maine, GOP lawmakers are facing the wrath of their own constituents. At a recent event in Alabama, a congressman dodged questions about who pays for Trump's tariffs, only to sneak out the back door to avoid a chorus of boos. Up in Maine, Senator Susan Collins, once a GOP mainstay, was drowned out by chants of shame at a ribbon-cutting ceremony. And in Iowa, Senator Joni Ernst, battered by MAGA purists for daring to question Trump's defense secretary pick, announced her retirement after 2 terms. North Carolina's Thom Tillis is also bowing out, leaving a gaping hole in the GOP's Senate lineup. These aren't just retirements. They're rats fleeing a sinking ship, and Trump's the captain steering it straight into the iceberg. The GOP's woes don't end there. A stunning upset in a special election in Iowa saw a Democrat flip a deep red district by double digits, shattering the Republican supermajority. This isn't just a local fluke. It's a warning shot that Trump's unpopularity is dragging his party into the abyss. His approval ratings, already scraping the bottom of the barrel, are now a millstone around the necks of every Republican running in 2026. The MAGA base might worship Trump, but the broader electorate is fed up, and the midterms are shaping up to be a bloodbath for the GOP. Trump's leadership is turning his party into a punchline, and his disappearing act only underscores how out of touch he's become. If Trump's health scandal and tariff fiasco weren't enough, the Jeffrey Epstein saga continues to haunt him like a ghost he can't exorcise. Despite his frantic denials, new revelations about a letter bearing Trump's name and a crude drawing sent to Epstein in 2003 have reignited questions about their relationship. Trump's response? A predictable tantrum, vowing to sue the Wall Street Journal and dismissing the story as fake. But the harder he swings, the more attention he draws to the scandal. Even Vice President J.D. Vance had to jump in, calling the report complete and utter bullshit. But the damage is done. The MAGA base might buy Trump's conspiracy theories, but the public isn't so easily fooled. This is a man who can't outrun his past, no matter how loudly he screams about deep state plots. Trump's attempts to distract from the Epstein mess are as pathetic as they are predictable. He's trotted out Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard to push wild claims about Obama, orchestrating a coup against him in 2016. It's a tired playbook. When cornered, blame Obama, the media, or anyone else within reach. But these distractions are backfiring, just like his health cover-up. The more Trump tries to shift the narrative, the more he exposes his own weaknesses. His administration is a chaotic mess, with no cohesive messaging strategy to counter the mounting scandals. Press Secretary Leavitt's silence on Trump's absence is deafening, and even J.D. Vance's sudden declaration that he's ready to step into the role raises eyebrows. Is Trump's team preparing for the worst? The whispers are growing louder, and they're not flattering. Trump's health scandal isn't a one-off. It's part of a pattern of deception that's defined his political career. Remember 2020, when he downplayed his COVID-19 diagnosis, only for later reports to reveal he was on the brink of being ventilated? His physician at the time, Sean Conley, fed the public a steady diet of lies, claiming Trump was fine while he battled dangerously low blood oxygen levels. Fast forward to 2025, and the playbook hasn't changed. The White House's insistence that Trump's chronic venous insufficiency is no big deal echoes the same obfuscation. This is a man who's built his brand on projecting invincibility, yet every attempt to hide his frailties only makes them more glaring. Then there's the cognitive question. Trump loves to brag about acing the Montreal Cognitive Assessment in 2018, reciting person, woman, man, camera, TV like it's a Nobel Prize-worthy achievement. But that test is so basic, it's practically a participation trophy. Critics have long questioned his mental acuity, pointing to rambling speeches and bizarre tangents that suggest a mind in decline. The media's reluctance to call it what it is, possible cognitive impairment, smacks of sane washing, cherry-picking coherent moments to downplay the chaos. Meanwhile, Trump's GOP allies in Congress are launching investigations into Biden's health from years ago, a hypocritical distraction from their leader's current unraveling. If this were a Democratic president, Fox News would be screaming about a cover-up 24/7. The double standard is as nauseating as Trump's orange bronzer. While Trump hides, his administration is pushing a dystopian agenda that's as reckless as it is unpopular. His tariffs are just the tip of the iceberg. He's deploying the National Guard to Democratic cities, shaking down businesses for favorable treatment, and even musing about controlling museum exhibits and campus life. This isn't governance. It's a wannabe dictator's fever dream. Imagine the outrage if Obama had tried half of this. Fox News would have imploded. Yet Trump's state-run media cheerleaders laugh off the hypocrisy, propping up a man who's too frail to face the cameras. It's a pathetic display of loyalty to a leader who's leading his party straight to ruin. The healthcare cuts are another gut punch to Americans already struggling. Trump's $1.1 trillion Medicaid slash will strip coverage from 11.8 million people, shutter rural hospitals, and devastate vulnerable communities. His administration claims it's about cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, but it's really about gutting a lifeline for the poor while funneling benefits to drug makers and private insurers. The Project 2025 blueprint, which Trump distanced himself from during the campaign, is now his healthcare playbook, pushing privatization and rolling back consumer protections. This isn't making America healthy again. It's making America sicker, poorer, and angrier.